A woman found dead in her apartment wants answers about what happened. Channel 2's Mike Pachenik is live on Nesbitt Ferry Road. Mike, the sister of the victim, says they never expected they'd lose her like this.
Fabiola Thomas was going to turn 40 on Monday, but a month shy of her birthday, police say her roommate found her dead in an apartment here at Atlantic Newtown Apartment Homes. And her family, they want to know why.
She would speak to anyone who, would speak to her, and she enjoyed life,
Fabiola Thomas's sister says she was a people person, a hard worker, and a friend to all. We spoke to her by phone. She asked us not to use her name because her family is still fearful after the 39-year-old's suspicious death last month.
That's the reason why we need closure. It's hard for us to, very hard for me to imagine. I keep thinking what could have happened.
Police say Fabiola's roommate found her dead in their apartment at the Newtown Atlantic complex June 8th.
The autopsy came back and there is some indication that there was some sort of trauma, some sort of suspicious circumstance that we need to follow up on.
Roswell Police Sergeant Zachary Fromer says detectives are asking anyone who saw Fabiola in the days leading up to her death to call police.
Anything's possible, but it doesn't necessarily appear random at this point.
Fabiola's sister says she died a month shy of her 40th birthday, and while she didn't have kids of her own, she treated her nieces and nephew as her own. Her sister recounted seeing her the week before her death.
We were together, eating, laughing, she went to Walmart with my girls, and that's it. We need closure. Whoever did it, that person needs to turn himself in.
Well, a Fulton County judge sentenced a man to life in prison after killing a woman he met on a dating app.
This is a really sad case.
Her life mattered. She lived with purpose. My sister was attacked and murdered in her home.
Investigators discovered Thomas and Wilson had only dated briefly after meeting on a dating app.
Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future content. 39-year-old Fabiola Thomas was a person who enjoyed and loved life. She also had dreams and goals that she wanted to accomplish. She worked very hard to get the things she wanted, very much independent. Everywhere she went, she would let her friends and family know. That's the type of person Fabiola was. One day, she decided to get on the dating site. She was single and was ready to mingle. Having a good time was something she enjoyed, but she always played it safe. While on the dating site, she came across Antonio Wilson, 43. The two exchanged numbers, texts, and talked on the phone. When they finally met in person, she would always meet him in public places, never her place. She even told her family and friends where she was to feel more safe. After only dating a short period of time, Antonio became too attached really fast, and he even gave her a ring. To her, that seemed very strange, and she wasn't ready for all of that. So she told him to keep his ring and stop claiming her because she was never his woman. Later, she unfriended him, but Antonio wasn't taking no for an answer. So he found out where she lived and decided to show up. Sadly, on June 8, 2019, as she was getting ready for work, later, her roommate would find her lifeless body in the bathtub.
Well, a Fulton County judge sentenced a man to life in prison after killing a woman he met on a dating app.
Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln was the only reporter in the courtroom when the judge handed down that sentence and spoke exclusively with the district attorney about it.
It's one of the hardest crimes to make sure that we combat.
And Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis says her office is proactively litigating domestic violence cases.
This is an issue that is really close to home for me.
Through the Brenda Byam Domestic Violence Unit, named after Willis's late aunt.
Ultimately stabbed her to death in the back.
Tuesday, part of the unit spoke to me after the defendant was sentenced in the 2019 murder of Fabiola Thomas.
This is a really sad case.
Her life mattered. She lived with purpose.
A Fulton County judge sentenced Antonio Wilson to serve life without the possibility of parole for malice murder.
She unfriended Antonio Wilson the day before she died.
Senior ADA Nalda Charles says text messages show Wilson couldn't handle Thomas's rejection towards him before strangling her inside of her Roswell apartment.
My sister was attacked and murdered in her home.
Investigators discovered Thomas and Wilson had only dated briefly after meeting on a dating app. Attorneys say after Thomas rejected his advances, he found where she lived and attacked her in her home.
This was a surprise attack. She did not know her attacker was coming that morning.
Jurors reached a guilty verdict in 30 minutes after seeing crime scene photos and hearing from Thomas's roommate who found her body lying in a tub.
She only met him in public places. She would even meet him outside of friends' houses in parking lots. So it is very scary because Ms. Thomas did everything that you would, want to do.
I'm going to give my thoughts and opinion on this story. Very sad situation. This lady's life should never have been taken. Because of this man couldn't handle rejection or I don't want you, he decided to take her life. And to give somebody a ring that you only known a short period of time was a red flag. And she knew right away that this wasn't the guy for her. She always met him in public places so she could feel safe. Never her place, which was a good thing. But he still found out where she lived anyway, because he couldn't handle rejection. If he didn't take her life, more than likely, he was going to take someone else's life as well. She did everything right. Some of these dating sites, you can find good people, but a lot of men and women have bad intentions. You just have to be very careful. Ladies, as always, pay attention to the red flags, know your worth, and be safe.
Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. I will continue to keep my thoughts and prayer with the family, and I will see y'all in my next video.